Pilgrim Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. It's the 14th annual Candlepin Bowling Championship. And competing for the $10,000 grand prize are three-time winner and top seed Tom Olszta of Sturbridge, who qualified with a 4.44. Steve Renaud of Southbridge, who qualified with a 4.37. Det Klein of Marlborough, who qualified with a 4.33. Jim Kelly of Bridgewater, who qualified with a 4.32. And Jeff Atkins of Springfield, who qualified with a 4.26. Don Gillis here, and as you can tell, there's a great crowd here at the Pilgrim Lanes in Haverhill for what should be a very exciting match. It's the 14th. Can you imagine that? Our live championship. You know, of course, that it's $20,000. $10,000 is the first prize. $5,000 goes to the first runner-up. $2,500 to the man who's in third place. And the runners-up of the first two matches will get $1,250. Also, they will have a permanent souvenir in trophies. Each of them will receive a trophy. And all of the prize money, which you are accustomed to, the bonus money, I should say, you're accustomed to seeing on our regular shows, will be available here. So if somebody gets 3 strikes tonight, it's an extra $1,000. Now, to tell you just exactly how this is going to work, my colleague from Channel 5, Ed Harding.
Thank you. Let me say first, it's such a pleasure to work with you.
Gee, thanks.
With your specialty, it really is. You know, I thought the Super Bowl was in January. I think the Super Bowl is here today. This crowd is so pumped up that while the bowlers are just warming in your introductions, these people are cheering.
That's right, and the bowlers are very pumped up, too, so it should be great.
And this is how we've bracketed it, so take a look at it, if you will. It kind of, if I can use a term like the NCAA tournament, we'll set it up and we'll seed him for you. The #1 seed at the very end of the line is Tom Olszta. Now, he will be awaiting whoever can survive the bowling in the middle. Steve Renaud and Jeff Atkins will bowl against each other. Det Klein and Jim Kelly will bowl against each other. The winners will advance to the next round, and the sole survivor out of that will have the privilege of bowling against Tom Olszta for the money that stands at the end of 90 minutes of bowling. I don't know about you, but I'm ready. Are you ready?
Absolutely. What are we standing here for? People want to see bowling. Let's go.
Let's leave. Let's go.
We are ready, and that is Jeff Atkins who will be leading it off. He was the 5th. He qualified with the 4.26, and he goes against Steve Renaud, who was 2nd.
The get over cheer, it worked.
It did. Yeah. An enthusiastic supporter.
Either that or his brother. I'm not sure which one.
Jeff has a high single of 205 and a high triple of 514, and that's he just missed. That's the NBA all-time high triple with a 514. He did that back in 1981. And he begins with a 10. You will hear another voice in addition to mine and to Ed Harding, and last year he was down there on the floor dancing around at the end of this thing because for the 2nd time in a row he had won $10,000. Dick O'Connell, who missed by 1 pin being back in for the 3rd time, is with us. Nice to have you, Dick.
Glad to be here, Don. Glad to be here.
Spare leave, 1 and 3.
It must be strange for you, Dick, to be sitting in this chair and not be standing out there under the lights.
Well, you know, that's true. I would rather be down there under the lights, but I mean, you know, you got your 5 best this year, and they're going to give us a show today.
Yes, they are.
Now Steve Renaud.
Young guy, 25 years old, baby-faced fellow.
But some fine bowler.
Oh, yeah.
NBA Open Singles champion back in '86 and '87 doubles champion along with his father Harry, and Harry is here tonight.
so's Steve's grandmother. And Steve says he rolls very well in front of his grandmother.
Oh, what a shot.
There's one for Grandma.
Beautiful spare.
Perfect strike, hit it solidly and exploded in there. He hits the pins at about 42 miles an hour. A lot of action when you get the ball in there.
That's right. We had a gun on them ahead of time. Too bad. Ralph Stewart is our lob line judge and referee, and so he has lost the pins that were down. Oh, and right down the...
Dick, what is he feeling?
Yeah, my feeling here is, you know, Steve's a very, very good young competitive bowler. And as Don maybe remembers, 2 years ago, I stopped Stevie's streak. And he come on the following year to stop my streak. And he's just such a high, intense bowler. He's just unbelievable. I see him going a long way in the future.
Jeff Atkins up again to roll, and he's working on a spare, remember? So this is the fill.
Oh, sweet fill.
Yeah, almost a hammer. 1 pin to pick up. That's 7. Jeff is married, father of 2. He's a letter carrier.
I think what you'll find tonight is all of the bowlers are so powerful. Get every inch of their body into it.
Oh, yeah, he was all over that. Jeff, the former 2-time NBA state doubles champion, along with John Miller.
I've bowled with Jeff for many years. You know, he's our team captain going up to Canada, and he is probably one of the toughest clutch bowlers in the end that I've ever bowled with.
Oh, another big deep. All right, another single pin to work on. Dick, is this any easier, the 4 than the 7?
For Jeff, it doesn't matter which one pin is up there. You know, he's very accurate with all of them.
Got it.
I see what you mean.
You know, he even skip lobbed it and still nailed it right in the middle.
He's been able to post 3 marks in a row.
That's right, $50 in bonus money, just as it is in our regular. Now, Steve Renaud. 4 horsemen left side and the inside pin, the 9. Concentrating on getting that 9, which is tough, and maybe played it a little too full. 10 box.
Bowling these one-string matches are very, very tough.
And he's already down 17 pins, and he's bowled through 3 boxes. What kind of pressure is he feeling?
You couldn't even describe the pressure he's probably feeling right now, especially looking at a 2-2.
Right.
It's tough, a one-string roll-off.
You just run out of room to do things, and you can only be so explosive, you know, before you run out of time.
And when something like that happens, it really gets tough. Oh, a tough 6 box, and he's opposite a spare. So, so far, boxes completed, actually, of course, with another ball to be roamed by Jeff Atkins. He leads 58-37. Jeff Atkins already with 3 marks in a row, leading by at least 21 pins, and also what he will get on this next ball.
He could go with a real big knockout here early with a big fill down.
Just 4. 3 marks in a row. That, in one sense, is a break for Steve Renaud, in the fact that he didn't get a big fill and does not have an easy spare lead.
But he picked it up.
I was just going to say, you know, Jeff had that first ball go off to the right on him, but he's been known to make that shot many a time.
Already up to $100 in bonus money, but more important in this one-string roll-off, he has 4 marks in a row, and he adds another bonus of 6 pins.
Jeff's confidence and adrenaline must really be running right now, because you make a shot like that,
and his momentum, I would imagine, too, would just be carrying him along.
Sure, especially having, you know, a 20-something pin lead.
He got the skip lob that time, but it just went off a little bit to the left. These two guys are good friends, too.
We're all teammates, Don.
We're all in the same family, huh?
You'll all be challenging the international teams, right?
Stevie, Jeff, and myself, we're all on the same team up in the World Tournament. So.
How do you lose then?
Well, you know, unfortunately, you know, we get it against Peter Flynn's team and Jackie Ray and his crew, and they're a tough team.
All right, we have the 5, 7, and 8. No wood to help. As Steve Renaud fires, and nope. An 8. He's obviously pressing right now.
Yeah, he's almost at the point, you know, I hate to say, he's almost at the point of no return now. Getting 33 pins back on 5 boxes, especially against the likes of Jeff Atkins, it's tough. Jeff must be feeling very comfortable right at the moment.
Steve won't give up. There's no question about that.
Steve has never given up in all the years I've bowled.
He comes back with a spare.
It's the kind of bowling he has to do the rest of the string. He can't have hardly any open frames the rest of the time out. He has to mark them all.
Stevie's got to basically mark out the rest of the string if he's going to have a shot.
Well, how do you do?
Boy, is he hot.
A perfect strike.
Absolutely, that was a hammer.
Great explosion.
I hope I'm premature, but I mean, that just about closes the door right there.
Look at that.
And he's been making that shot in this match so far.
That's right. Once again, all over it. And 2 more marks. Open with a 10, then 4 marks in a row, excuse me, then a 9, then strike and spare, and Steve Renaud now on the line. And
that 10 will not go. What's it, nailed?
Boy, it must be. 3, 6, and 10, and of course a piece of wood that should help as far as that 10 is concerned, which did not go when we expected it would. And yes, he has 2 in a row. Steve Renaud is single. He's employed as an auto body repairman.
He's also brought his deficit back a slight bit.
Oh, a break as the 7 went down. An 8 fill.
It's a nice fill and leaves him with a decent shot at marking again.
3 and 6 with wood, and yes, he has 3 marks in a row. And $50 in bonus money, but that's not what he's thinking about now.
What this man is thinking about is just maintain the consistency, keep the rhythm.
Love has cost him 8 pins.
That could come back to haunt them, because that gives Stevie an opening here. You know,
and how you recover from that too, just emotionally.
That's a tough call, and when you're working on a mark and you make a nice drop like that. You know, he had a possible spare leave there.
What a spare!
Because Stevie is such an explosive bowler, he's known to come back with 2 or 3 strikes on the end, and that's just about what he needs right now.
2 pins still standing, and he will try to get one. Obviously, we're trying to get both, but and did.
And he did.
So it's a 10. $127 through 9. How much does that lob call bother him?
It's probably bothering him an awful lot, because if Stevie throws a strike on this spear, you know, we're talking a 17-pin difference. And, you know, and we're back in the ball game again.
It's funny, Don, I noticed that as Steve sits there and watches Jeff bowl, his head is down. It's almost like Ray Wersching, the San Francisco 49er kicker, who wouldn't look up
Right.
during kicks. Looks up at the last minute.
He wanted that one badly.
Steve has the opening to pull this string out. He does have the opening.
There's Steve. See that head down? The concentration. At the very last second, lifts his head up to watch the ball.
9 and a 136. Steve Renaud has a spare already in the 8th, so he'll be filling now. And 2 boxes to go to see what he can do.
Steve was to throw a big fill here or a strike. He's right there in the hunt. He's got the fill. He's got a
7.
Yeah.
That qualifies for the fill. That qualifies for a nice spare leave. Now he's shot 10 pins.
And he made it.
He's in the hunt.
Another $50 in bonus money, but more important, he's closing
like I said
the gap.
earlier, I was hoping I was premature when I said, you know, when Jeff was 33 pins up.
Still down 20 pins. Tough lead.
What does he do with that?
Yeah.
Myself, I would shoot right down by the 5 pin, catch that wood that's right in the front, right on the right-hand end. The ball will carry the 2 on the right.
I got it. Like that.
Just like that.
Way to go, coach.
He's in the hunt.
He struck it exactly where Dick suggested, obviously on the same page. And now Steve
I
very
think he
much.
come up a little short. Little shot. You need a couple bigger plays.
A 3-pin victory. That's how, what a great comeback, huh?
That was an absolutely wonderful
Excellent comeback from Stevie. Stevie's not the type that ever quit.
So Jeff Atkins will advance now to the 2nd round, but there will be another 1st round match coming up right after this.
He was a real good host.
All right, now we'll find out who is going to be Jeff Atkins' next opponent. Jim Kelly against Det Klein, and Jim Kelly will be leading it off. Kelly of Bridgewater qualified with a 432.
It's an interesting action on the ball, Don. He brings it left to right. He releases it and brings it back left to right. He told me he did it because when he was a younger fellow, he used to whack the ball off his left ankle.
How about that?
I've bowled with Jimmy for a lot of years over in Bridgewater, Freddie Thompson's place at Academy Bowl. And he's a good competitor. And
Of course, ultimately waiting at the end of the line for whoever can survive is Tommy Olszta, who's been watching some, will warm up some.
Well, Dick's been in that position. What's it like?
it's tough, Don. You know, you're sitting here, you're listening to the people yell and cheer, and you're watching actually three strings be bowled. And then you have to go down the other end and just loosen up a little bit. And there's so many people here, you got to kick people off the alleys in order to warm up.
You're right.
It's tough.
Boy, you have to say that they're a great crowd here, and they really take care of us here. Phil Angelotti and his son Gary and his son-in-law Chris, they really treat us well, and the crowd here, and it's a very enthusiastic bunch.
A couple of nines for Jimmy Kelly to start it out.
All right, now Det Klein.
I don't know Det that well, you know. Personally, I've bowled with him in several tournaments. And he's another one that never gives up. He's got that hard-firing motion. Sometimes I wonder how he lasts.
He has huge hands.
Yeah.
His hands
Yes,
are
he has.
huge.
That's a great way to start. Det has an unusual approach. He's almost like he's a sprinter in the starting blocks, and then all of a sudden he takes off and fires.
Almost very similar to Stevie Popolo.
Stevie Popolo, yes. Right. It's as if somebody says, okay, you can attack now.
And he attacked the 7.
All right, now up once again is Jim Kelly. So close to a strike. Single pin to pick up the 10.
That could be tough on him there, Don. You know, it looks easier than what it is.
The way the wood is set up.
Sweet
Got it.
post.
It went straight back. He hit it right.
Yeah.
If he had gone straight at the pin, the wood may have gone to the left and the ball to the right.
He even eased off on the velocity just a bit to make sure the accuracy was right where he wanted it.
That's a nice ball.
9.
A 9 fill on the mark? That's the way to do it.
He's still got that wood that's going to bother him a little bit.
But he has a clean shot at the pin if he takes it.
The way his ball breaks from left to right.
He got it out with the wood.
Det Klein is married, has 4 daughters, and he's a proprietor of the Kroll Bowl in Stowe, Massachusetts. 2 pins left to try to pick up, 2 and 4. 126 average bowler. He's got it.
We definitely do have a match here.
I would say they found their rhythm early.
Yes, they did. They're both throwing the ball very well.
Oh, a hammer!
Look where the 10 was. A little nester just got bumped into the corner, but it was dropped.
And how both bowlers have bonus balls to throw, 2 by Klein and 1 by Kelly, and the score right now is Det Klein 54 and Jim Kelly 47. Employed as an assembler, has a league average of 121, and right now is working on a spare. He has 2 in a row. Here's the fill. So close to getting a strike.
There's a confidence builder for Jimmy right there because, you know, when the guy comes back and throws a strike on a spare, then you come back with a 9-drop with a plank. That just keeps it
3
going.
marks in a row.
He's also been able to do, as Don mentioned, the 3 marks in a row.
That's
So
it,
this,
you know,
yeah.
when he dropped that 9 with the plank, you know, he forgot all about that strike.
Too full on the head pin.
You bring up an interesting point. How much do bowlers think about the other guy, the other person they're bowling with?
Well, I don't know what you mean by think about him. You know, as far as watching the score, myself, I never did watch the score. I try to go box for
Got
box.
the 3 on the
I
left.
never really tallied the score. Different bowlers, you know, they have different aspects. Some bowlers, the biggest
Makes it 10.
the biggest enemy is themselves because they're watching the other bowler.
Det Klein on the line. He has 2 marks in a row, the second of which was a strike, so he has 2 bonus balls to roll. Right now he's at 54. Oh, 2 strikes in a row.
I think Jim Kelly is now thinking about that strike.
He most certainly is. And I would imagine Det Klein's hair feels like it's about 2 inches off the top of his forehead.
3 strikes in a row would have been an extra bonus of $1,000. He has another bonus ball.
If you recall last year at the state tournaments, Det Klein bowled in this house and bowled very, very well to be a state champ.
We have seen the 3 strikes in a row. Peter Klein did it a couple of years ago. It is Peter Flynn with such a marvelous effort on his part.
$17-pin difference right now. Det Klein in the lead by 17. 4 boxes to go. Jim Kelly on the line again.
Even with that double strike, it's still a close match, you know, with 4 boxes. Anything can still happen in 4 boxes, as we saw the last match.
That is not the way, though, that Jimmy wanted to start out this box.
No.
Four and 7 for 10. He gets a 4, so it's a 9 box. Dick, I understand that you and a lot of the other bowlers were involved in a big fundraiser for MS with Al Johnson.
Yes, we were. You know, Al Johnson, you know, he's a proprietor of Alfie's place over there in Ware, you know. And between the proprietor of the Ware Bowlerdrome, we put on an MS benefit. We had a very, very good turnout. Alfie put out a great buffet, and I just want to thank the people and the bowlers.
Oh, yeah. A spare for Jim Kelly.
We had over 20 of the best bowlers show up there for this benefit.
That must have been really something to see. All right, let's now watch Det Klein and see what he can do. He's opposite a 9 and a spare with a 17-pin lead. Punching out the 3 and the 9. Half Worcester right.
Here's a tough position. He doesn't know whether to go for the 4 or go for the 2.
And
Myself, I'd go for the 2 because he's in the lead.
And as a result, he just got one anyway for a 7 box. When you start chopping wood, do you start thinking to yourself that, hey, maybe I'm a little bit off now for the rest of the...
No, with a 1-string match like this, Don, you know, you start thinking, geez, you know, maybe I'm pressing a little bit too hard, and you just got to take a deep breath and start all over again.
The ball hooked a little bit to the left, though. Just still had some action in there, but nonetheless, it hooked to the left as he released.
Big spare because Jim Kelly had just put one up there.
He cleaned it out nicely.
It's going to put the pressure on Jimmy right here. Jimmy's got to get 2 marks in the end here.
And through boxes completed, it's a 15-pin lead for Det Klein.
Here's a big ball.
There's the answer.
Jimmy needed a big one, and he came up with a big one. A strike.
Det will definitely be thinking about that strike on that spare, because that could be the closer of the match. Take that 15 pins right away.
Well, that might be right there.
That ball definitely takes the 15 pins away.
2 bonus balls to roll, and if the first one is a strike, he is $1,000 richer immediately.
The double strike there definitely took those 15 pins away from him.
So close, everything except the 5 pins.
And he gets a well-earned round of applause from the crowd here.
Boy, I'll say.
Deep breath to go get the one lonely soldier.
And he made it. What a finish by Jim Kelly.
Excellent finish.
Wow. He finishes out at 159.
The only way you can get any more pins in the last 2 boxes is to throw a triple. You're not going to get any more pins than that.
Now the pressure is really on Det Klein, who began with a 15-pin advantage going into actually the last 2 boxes here. Let's see how he answers it. 5.
He went in strong.
And not an easy one to convert.
He has to make this spare him.
Nope. The minute he released it.
Yep, he knew it.
He's going to need the 10, and then he's going to... I don't know if he has room or not.
Looked like he was trying to just brush by number 1, start a domino effect to take that piece of wood in. 9.
He has to tie if he goes triples in the last.
129, 139, 10 pins right now, and he's opposite 20 pins. So he needs a triple strike.
He needs
That's triples to tie.
He needs a triple strike to tie.
To tie.
That's it.
Oh, well.
Jim Kelly has advanced.
That's a tough order.
Boy, I'll say, a triple strike just to tie? Yeah. Made the spare. One more to roll, Det. I know it doesn't mean anything.
He already came up and gave Jim Kelly his congratulatory handshake.
Yep.
We've had 4 excellent strings so far.
Boy, we have, haven't we?
Excellent.
4 more. Final score of this match, Kelly 159, Klein 143, and now it will be Jeff Atkins against Jim Kelly to see who goes against Tom Olszta for the big bucks, right after this.
Back live at Pilgrim Lanes in Haverhill, you've seen Jeff Atkins stand up. Jim Kelly has also survived. This is how we've reached the semifinals. Atkins, after rolling a 136 in his match win, and Jim Kelly, you've just seen him complete the 159, the terrific finish to advance to the semi. One more string, and then it's time to roll for the dough, Don.
Right. One of these bowlers is going to go on to meet Tom Olszta and be guaranteed at least $5,000. The other is guaranteed at least $2,500. It will be a 2-string match against our top seed, Tom Olszta. And this is the single string match that is going to determine which of these 2 goes on to meet Tom Olszta.
That was a very good shot.
Well, it's funny, it looks easy, but it's not when you step up under the pressure of live competition.
No, he actually had to hit that wood where he did, because if he had gone right at the 5-pin, he may have left the 8-pin there.
Over in the far lane, Tom Olszta by himself warming up.
And Dick O'Connell knows all about that. It is a 6. He has a triangle over on the right made up of the 3, 5, and 6. The 7 is alone over on the left. There's a piece of wood, not really on an angle that he would like, I would think, with the 5, but maybe he can use it to go over there to get the 7. No, had to get the side of that 3, the outside of the 3, in order to start that work.
He took the shot at it, but he got some action, but not the action he wanted.
Nine. Dick O'Connell, you were so fired up last year. I thought you were going to go through the ceiling, but is it because of the crowd?
Yeah, I get very excited with,
Tom
with a
also
good
over in the
crowd.
corner all by himself. Jim Kelly puts himself in a position to start off with a spare.
To pick up where he left off in the last match.
That's right.
That's a nice spare leave there. You know, even if he misses to the pin to the little bit to the left, he still makes it.
And that's what happened.
That's what he did.
How lonely is Tom Olszta feeling right now? You know, this
Very,
room
very-
is full of 4,000 people or whatever, and he's over there by himself.
Very, very long. He's over there. He's trying to loosen up. He's trying to be calm, trying to get rid of the butterflies, and he hears all the cheering and yelling. and he has no choice but to look to see what's going on.
Six-pin drop, exactly the same as Jeff got. And he's left with 1, 7, let's see, 1, 5, 7, and 10. And 3 pieces of wood. Almost pulled it off.
He hit that shot good.
And he picks up the single for a 10. 1 pin lead after 2 boxes.
I think we're going to see this kind of match the whole match, Don.
Not enough action to take out the 10. Looking at the tournament from the other perspective, these gentlemen are still bowling. One of them will go on and keep bowling all evening. You keep the fluid going. Is that a preferred path to the championship?
No, the preferred path is to be where Tommy Olszta is sitting right now.
Already guaranteed $5 grand, right?
That's right. Yeah, you show up, you get a good paycheck.
That's not bad for walking in the door, huh?
Not bad at all.
Show up with a broken leg for that.
Jeff Atkins. 7 more. 3, 6, and 7. He's got a piece of wood that's about where the 4 would be, in addition to the one that's right in between the 3 and the 6.
Got him! Whoa!
Was there a 4-leaf clover there?
Yeah, I've bowled with Jeff for a lot of years. After making a shot like that, he's going to be so pumped up now, you might not be able to stop him.
I saw the fist go in the air.
He nailed the pin right in the head and took them all out.
Jim Kelly with the 1 and 7.
And he's got some wood he can use. How well can you use that, though? Where do you go?
You just shoot the head pin. You try to shoot the head pin on the left-hand side and hope the ball hits the wood.
Which is what he was shooting for.
If he had hit the head pin on the right-hand side, he would have had to hope the pin carried the 7.
It's an 8 box. So he dropped 9 on that exchange. Spare leave. 6 and 9.
You should shoot that shot just like the wood's not there. You know, just a regular 2-pinner. Should carry.
Most of the people here surprised that he didn't make that one.
I think he was looking at the wood.
So
None
it's
more
a
so
10.
than Jim.
Right. So the score after 4 in this semifinal right now has Jeff Atkins leading by a score of 52-44 with a bonus ball still to be rolled. Atkins on the line. He has 2 marks in a row. The fill. 6.
Seems to be a little cooler here this year, Don, than last year.
Yeah, I agree. 1, 3, 7, and 8 with wood. And he got it! Another $50 in bonus money for Jeff Atkins, and it's still alive. 6 more with the 4 horsemen right side to work on.
With the wood sitting in there, it should be just a regular 2-pinner. He goes in the 1-3 pocket, and it should just run him right home. Because his ball breaks that way anyways.
Home she goes.
Down it goes.
4-4, straight, mark. All right, not quite in the perfect spot.
He didn't quite hit the pocket exactly in the pocket, but he hit the head pin. That's what counts.
Absolutely.
That's the name of this game, is to hit the head pin.
It's like blue pits in baseball. They're all line drives in the box score, right? Here's a tough one. The diamond. Oh, it came back and got it.
That was an excellent shot. Now, Don must see that shot 1,000 times a year, and not too many people make this shot. That's a toughie.
So often one pin is left.
The thing is, too, remember how strong Jim closed the last match.
And he's doing it again this match. You know, he's
9 more and a single pin to pick up the 3 with Wood. And he has another.
And he's showing signs of closing this one out the same way he closed out his first string.
He hasn't given up, that's for sure. Never give up. It's 11-pin difference. You still got 4 boxes to go. A lot can happen.
Jeff Atkins also working on a spare.
Jeff is just missing that head pin, but he's getting pretty good action off.
Tonight it seems like every time somebody comes up, I say he's working on a spare, he's working on a strike.
Well, they almost should at this level, no?
Well, if they can keep Dick O'Connell out of being in here.
Right.
Another one.
So you can say it now again, Don. Jeff is working.
On a spare. Yeah, if Jeff can hit that head pin, you're going to see a lot of action. He still has a spare lead.
7 more. Now the
spare lead.
2-pin becomes the object pin, and he's got the 6 and 10 over on the right. And Wood, what do you do? Go the left side of this and just try to kick it over?
You shoot the pin to the right-hand side, and the ball carries the wood into the other 2.
Just like that.
I tell you, Coach, your X's and O's have been perfect tonight.
All right, Jim Kelly now.
I've just been very lucky.
Right. Like Brooks Robinson once said, you make your own luck, right?
Oh, there's the first, I would say, bad ball that he's thrown in the sense that it was way off target. Came back and darn near got it.
By Jeff making those last 2 shots, put a lot of pressure on Jimmy.
I think he rushed
I have
that
a feeling
box, too.
He definitely rushed that box. No, he does not want to rush this shot.
No. Someone should tell him it's a 90-minute live show and we're at his disposal.
Oh.
Now, looking down, I just watched Jeff give a great big sigh of relief that Jimmy missed that.
Well, he's at 118, opposite 95, and he's got this bonus ball to throw.
And he's almost beginning to think about the championship round. And rightly so.
Jeff, in his mind right now,
125.
feels that he has already won this string. You know, his confidence is that high right at this point.
Got a little scare the first time around, though, from Stevie Renaud.
Sure did.
Right after that lob.
Now, he missed that shot, but he still feels confident enough that he's got, a 30-pin lead, that, 2 boxes. You're not going to, unless Jimmy comes up with a triple strike and big fills, he's not going to gain 30 pins.
Boy, some great single string scores tonight.
Excellent scores tonight, Don.
Including Jim Kelly with a 159 his first time.
Get over, one more.
Four and 7 on the left, 6-pin on the right. Wood to the right and to the left of it. Wood about where the 5-pin would be.
I would shoot the 6-pin right now. And just maybe like split the 2 wood, hit the pin right in the nose. Didn't quite catch that middle wood with the ball.
Had to catch the corner of it, huh?
He had to catch on, right smack dab between the 2 of them. It's a tough shot. The ball's only so wide. Excellent strike.
It always amazes me what you guys can do from 60 feet away, though. It really is. I mean, we think of a pitcher throwing at the same distance, and he's got a big strike zone. Well, he doesn't think so, but I mean, if you go down there and you've got about 2 inches that you have to put the thing into.
Yes, Stop, I think we've all probably been doing this for 20 years, too.
Well, so have the pitchers, too, really, Dick, you know, whatever levels they've been at. And remember, you know, a baseball pitcher, you're talking at Clemens around the 95 miles an hour. These fellows are bowling at 42, 43 miles an hour. That's just a speed comparison
yes,
to tell you how quickly it goes in the pocket.
That basically puts him at 105, and he definitely, of course, has to strike now.
Jimmy needs triple strikes here.
Nope.
He had to have the triple strike to win by one.
Right, and so Jeff Atkins, of course, is going to move on to face Tom Olszta. And after Dick O'Connell had the True Value Championship title in the east of Massachusetts, it's going west this time. Jim Kelly congratulating Jeff Atkins. And Jeff Atkins will be moving on to meet Tom Olszta in a 2-string final for a first prize of $10,000. The final score of this match, Atkins 144, Kelly 122. This is it. The final. Tom Olszta. Tom, our top seed.
We have two bowlers here that have bowled against each other for a lot of years. You know, team-wise, competitively wise.
Tom Olszta begins with what is almost a typical Tom Olszta spare.
No, that's not a typical Tom Olszta spare. Typical Tom Olszta spare is shooting at one pin.
Well, I think it's important, too, to remember that the guy has been cold, and he came up, and the first ball was out, and the second ball was right on to finish out with a spare.
Just 4. I guess what I meant was you see something that doesn't look easy, but yet he'll make it.
Tommy makes a lot of those shots. He definitely makes an awful lot of shots like that.
It's a 10. Now, Jeff Atkins.
When we were using our radar gun during the warm-ups, Tommy rolled the fastest at 43 miles an hour. I didn't get you to roll one, though, Dick. You should have rolled one for me.
I don't throw it as fast as Tommy, you know. It's not how hard you throw in this game. It's how accurate you are.
Jeff Atkins winds up with side-by-side 5 and 6 plus 10.
Peter Flynn probably throws one of the harder balls in the game. And he throws the ball just like he's shooting a gun out of a scope. He's as accurate as they can be.
Dick, is there any such thing as a truly natural bowler? It seems to me that every one of you guys has bowled for a long, long time, and you've learned how to play different shots because you have played for a long time. Or is there such a thing as a guy who has a natural instinct like a great billiard player who can look and figure what to do?
No, there's no such thing as that. I mean, anybody that's gotten to the point that these gentlemen are right now tonight has been around the game for a while and has watched the bowlers that were better than them as they grew up and just learned by their mistakes.
You think they watch our show?
All the time.
And this, of course, is a 2-string.
I'm sorry, Don. I just wondered at what point does Jeff realize that he's been bowling for essentially an hour now and he'll be going on. Did he ever get tired of doing that?
No, he won't get tired because, you know, most of our tournaments are all 10 strings anyway. So bowling 3 or 4 strings, you know, actually just starting to get loosened up. You're actually coming in cold like Tommy is sometimes tougher than just getting off the average from bowling.
For Tom, he has the 1, 2, 7, and 9, and Wood behind the 2-pin.
Excellent shot. Excellent.
He's showing classically why he's earned the #1 seed. As you watch the replay of that spare as he takes it out and cleans the table.
Well, I feel both these bowlers going to end up being Hall of Famers, you know, when it reaches that time in the Candlepin Hall of Fame.
Obviously, he's way up there. I mean, you're the two-time champion, and you just missed this rundown show, and of course, Tommy's been in 6 of our 13 previous yearly championship shows, so he's no stranger to this tournament.
You know, that's a feat in itself, just to qualify for that many shows. You know, people just don't realize how tough it is just to get on, you know, Don's show during the course of a year.
It's not tough because of Don, though, is it?
No, they're all welcome. Unfortunately for them, they have to earn their way on, though. We can't invite them on.
Don gives us all a great greeting when we come on.
Jeff Atkins.
That wood could hurt him if it stays there.
And it will stay there.
Yep, he's going to have to hit that way up top.
That's right. He has to bring it so that it swings like a door towards the 9-pin. And nope. That was a tough shot. That really was.
Just the type of bowler that I feel he'll probably get this 10.
9, 10. 3 10s in a row.
A little bit different situation this match now, because now they're bowling 2 strings, not just 1. And
so you always have the feeling that I've still got another string to go.
You always got that second string to go if you need it. You know, a lot of times you wish you only bowled 1 when you win the first one, but...
Yeah.
Because I think it's one of the toughest shots in sports, this one here.
Wood was a little bit closer to 10 pin. It's makeable, but...
Oh, what a great effort.
Good effort, yeah.
It's a 9. Another check on the scoreboard after 4 boxes here of the first of our 2 semifinal matches. And right now it is Olszta 50 and Atkins 39. The 5th box of the first of the 2 strings, Tom Olszta, at the moment leading by 11. Tom has won 3 of these yearly championship shows. He won back in 1980 the first time. There. Then won again in 83 and in 85. He didn't like that.
Looked like he tried to put a little bit extra on that one.
And the fill was 5.
Got 5 and wasn't able to make another one. It's a 10.
Jeff can get a couple of marks here. Puts it almost an even ball game again.
Does he have a little bit of a letdown after winning 2 in a row?
I doubt it very much. You know, Jeff is just too much of a competitor.
Nice going, Gillis.
He just wants to make it 3 in a row, that's all.
I bowl with Jeff, you know, the last 4 or 5 years up in Canada, you know, against the Canadians. And, you know, he has come through in the last 4 or 5 boxes so many times, you can't count him.
Jeff is trying to will
Hey,
it over, but she will not go.
You do whatever you have to do to win.
That must have been something to see when he rolled the 514, though.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there when he did it. I would have loved to have been there. It must have been very spectacular when him and Johnny Miller set that NBA record.
That's right. What was it, 1453 or something like that?
Yeah. He missed that. You know, he wanted to go a little bit farther to the right. I think he wanted to play that front wood, and myself, I think I might have gone just for the pin and kicked it over like that. With the wood behind it, it would have snapped over. I think he tried to use it all, and maybe he shouldn't have, you know.
Now Tom Olszta.
You look at his eyes when he came back, I think he felt the same thing.
But he closed the gap down to 9. Gap down to 9 with 14 boxes.
Boy, that was a pretty shot. What a spare.
Tommy's definitely making an awful lot of very, very good shots tonight. Championship shots.
He expected that one. Ralph Stewart calls time to get the ball that's loose in the right-hand gutter. Ralph never had so much applause.
He wants to stay out of the light, too.
He got it. In case anybody might have wondered, because Ralph was over to the right-hand side that time and there was a pin in the right-hand corner, Don Riley is acting as an associate referee and is right up at the top of the lane.
Jeff's got a lot of help there. You know, if he splits those front two, it should carry. He's got a lot of help in there.
The man who's put this show together, keeping it together, directing tonight, of course, is Phil Rubin, our producer-director. He has all the headaches. Just missed the head pin.
Commit to sin now, Dick. You preach. Attack that head pin.
Yeah. That's the name of the game. You have to hit the head pin. If you don't hit the head pin, you're not going to score.
What do you do when you start getting spread eagles? In other words, you're coming right in on the head pin over and over again. Or...
That's just when you got to make a small adjustment for one board, right or left, or maybe sometimes you just try to put a little extra on the ball and you shouldn't be. And that's when you start punching right through.
Excellent chance now for Jeff to get his second mark. He has it. Now Tom Olszta, already at 102, comes up and see what he can get in the final two boxes of the first of our two final strings. This is the penultimate string. You like that, Ed?
Penultimate.
Yeah.
Penultimate. That's too many syllables for me.
Excellent shot by Tommy. Yeah, Tommy's missing the head pin on his first ball, but he's making some fabulous shots, you know, for the spares, to carry the spares.
This gets into a dialogue that you and I had gotten into this evening about the merits of keeping the spares rolling and just marking the frames, simply as that.
That's all you have to do. You know, you don't have to throw strikes in this game. You just keep the spares going. The strikes are nice.
He really expected to make that one. No question about it.
Especially when they're 2 and 3 in a row.
A 129.
Back at Jeff's mind right now, he's saying to himself, I got to have at least one more marker in the last two, hopefully 2.
And remember, this is a 2-string for the championship, right. So it's not over now. That's a great response.
Jeff Atkins, strike on spare.
Would not surprise me at all if Jeff threw right on the head pin right now and threw a crushing ball. Maybe not a strike, you know, but ended up with another spare lead because he's psyched right now.
That's 2 in a row.
He did it.
That's my team captain, Don. I can't knock him in.
Is he a little bit pumped up right now?
He's going so strong into the head pin, just unmercifully attacking it. Now we look for a third strike.
His adrenaline's going so much right now. You can't explain it.
This is $1,000 on this ball right here.
Right on the head pin. It's worth $1,000, and it's too full.
Well, now he's just got to stop, take a deep breath, and just get the 4 pins and have the strength.
So he winds up with 6 for a fill.
Gives Tommy something to think about when they start the second.
There they are. And remember, we have a final deciding string to go. After the first of those 2, it is Jeff Atkins, 136, Tom Olszta, 129. Now the final and deciding string with no interruptions, and Jeff Atkins leads it off with a 7-pin lead.
This is a tough spot right here because, you know, you're just coming back from a commercial and, you know, everybody's cheering. And it's tough to just get up there and throw your first ball again, you know.
It's very tough.
You know, now that we're started, he'll calm down. He'll settle right in. Tough box. That's a heartbreak box.
A 4, which is a tough way to start the final string.
He's still an explosive bowler. He's liable to come back with most anything now. You know?
And he's shown tonight, and he's shown throughout his history, he's such a strong closer too. So
Now that very first box after you come after a little break, you know, you're just overexcited and sometimes overreact.
Oh, we almost saw a hammer.
He's calmed down now.
Put it on the scoreboard. Now Tom Olszta. Well, here's another miss of the head pin. Let's see if he will wipe these out. No wood. Nope. I'm always amazed at how fast Tom Olszta bowls. It seems almost as if, you know, most of you guys seem to take a little bit of a moment to aim at where you're going to go. He seems to grab the ball and fire.
You know, everybody has their different style, and when you're set and you blank everything out, you just go. You don't see nothing beside you.
it's the Julius Burroughs approach. Remember Julius used to golf like a walk up? Barely line it up. In fact, Donnie's rolling so fast he has to wait for his balls to come back. The balls haven't even returned.
He's bowled like that as long as I've ever seen him bowl.
First of all, I want to explain, that was in no way a criticism. That just surprises me that he is such a super bowler, and yet he seems to...
As accurate as he is, yes.
And that he's so accurate.
The 7 wants to go, but it won't.
Jeff has calmed down from that first box after our break. So.
7 is the fill. Nope, not quite.
I don't know how he missed it.
He hit it a little bit full.
Yeah, but I'm surprised the action didn't kick the 7 out.
When you hit it full, they go straight sideways. So.
10. That 4 box sure didn't seem to bother him, huh?
Oh, he's increased his overall lead.
That's a tough lead.
7-10 split with a whole bunch of wood.
The big forest right in front of him.
That's a very, very tough lead. I mean, there's a couple ways you could play that. If I saw that wood that's closest to us, I would probably try to catch that in the right hand and then have the ball take the 10 and maybe the wood go over to the 7.
I just say spray and pray.
Well, he almost had his prayers answered.
He sure did.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Ralph again.
Maybe
Ralph
that's
Stewart,
why
our love
he's
line judge and
unrankable. He
referee.
played it differently.
Did a great job of not knocking the 10 over while he was in there.
Ralph showing his great athletic ability and agility. Okay, Tom Olszta, who right now has to be under a little bit of pressure.
Well, that's the way to come back. Dropped the hammer and the timbers fell.
So
Tommy's
close
on
to
that head
getting
pin.
two
He's
in a
hard to
row.
stop. He's very explosive when he's on that head pin. First string, he made a lot of good shots, but he was shooting the head pin for spares.
Oh, unbelievable.
That's amazing. That didn't work.
7-pin would not go down.
The laws of physics are being defied right in front of my eyes.
Gets it for the 10.
Well, he's brought the deficit back. Through 4 complete, he's only trailing by 2 now.
We have a match. We have a definite match. We got, you know, 2 of the best around.
2 pins separating our bowlers, and this, of course, is for a first prize of $10,000.
And you can see the sweat on both bowlers. Jeff's been bowling all evening. Tom has been waiting.
It's a big ball for Jeff.
And Jeff
That's a
has
confidence
the
builder
9-pin
when he gets a
drop,
1
the
pin.
7-pin to pick up for a spare.
Yeah, what was confidence building, too, is he didn't strike it as solidly as he wanted to, yet 9 of them fell.
His shot is to go right at the pin, just like the wood wasn't there.
He has it.
Two of the best veterans in the game bowling right now. Veterans are 34 years old, 35 years old.
They're babies, Dick. They're
Right.
babies.
You notice I didn't say a word. 7, and he's left with 4-7 on the left and 10 over on the right. Piece of wood rolling over toward that 10-pin now.
Yeah. He's just got to shoot the 2. If he splits it right, maybe the 4 pin will catch the wood and take the 10 out.
Nope,
Good try.
too full on it.
See what he had to do. He hit the object pin.
Mm-hmm.
Getting down to crunch time. We're in. Coming to the halfway point of the final string. Almost with the single pin, the 7 to pick up for a spare.
Now that's
Whoa.
something you don't see Tommy do too
I
often.
was going to say that was most unusual. Single pin, and to miss it by that much. That may be very costly. He came back.
Come back from a miss with a hammer.
Boy, I'll say.
That would have made it an even ball game had he made that spare. Actually, it would have put him up.
4 boxes to go, boys and girls.
Jeff knows he needs a mark here. He's got to answer the strike.
A triangle. This one's made up of the 3, 5, and 6. No wood. Nothing to
Mark you were talking about.
He had to have that. Yeah, not so much for a morale and confidence builder, but he had to have it to answer back the strike. The strike puts him in an even ball game. You know, with the spare, now it forces Tommy to get one more.
Six. What's that wood over there?
He's got an awful
All
lot of
right,
help.
he's got it.
He got the wood right where he wanted it, too.
4, 7.
It's a
Wood
nice
between
setup,
4
you
and
know,
7.
he
Wood
splits
to the
them
right
balls.
of that 2-pin. And the 10-pin by itself over on the right, and he's going to obviously try to take these 3 out and have that piece of wood go over there and get the 10. And
Just got it.
He's tough now.
You could see it just when the dead wood settled down.
right.
Alongside the 2, he knew exactly he had it where he wanted it.
Puts a little pressure on Tommy now. Tommy has to answer with 2 marks, you know, to keep it still an even ball game.
And remember, Tommy's filling a strike.
Right, but it's down 9.
All right. First ball gets him 7. Ralph watching the deadwood line, and
Actually,
it is behind it, and it is in
actually,
play.
he was a little bit better off without that happening. He could bang it off the wall. He throws the ball hard enough.
No. Well, he went for them both. Instead of going directly for that 6-pin, he tried to kick it over and get the 7. Spare leave, 5 and 9. No! Big, big miss.
That could cost Tommy. That could cost Tommy daily.
You do not expect to see Tom Olszta miss that one.
You expect him to do that for 1 ball previous.
Jeff Atkins right now, of course, he had a lead coming in here, and now he is at 93, plus what he gets on this next ball.
Jeff's just got to keep his cool now and just finish the last 2 boxes. Constant.
7 more.
There's nothing wrong with that spare leave either. He hits the head pin that should carry. He's got a lot of help there.
The 1-7-10, the high-low with wood in front of the 7. And now he's got wood to
Now
the
he's
left
shooting a
and wood
110.
to the right.
Check it out.
Oh, big, big hit.
With that other wood coming right back up in the head pin, he was just shooting a 110er.
Oh, it was so perfectly the way he attacked the head pin and exploded through, and he got enough action to take out the 7 and the 10.
Oh, big, big Phil.
Well,
Just the 10-pin to pick up.
I would say this is automatic. I probably shouldn't, but I will.
You've been hot all night. You stay hot.
I think the door has been locked.
The door's never locked with Tommy. If it's mathematically feasible, Tommy can come back.
Just to remind you, Jeff Atkins was the 5th seed as we entered bowling tonight. And he got him on.
Great. What a finish. What a finish. Tom Olszta. Tom Olszta comes back with a strike.
Like I said, if it's mathematically feasible, Tommy can still do it.
Another one. No. He needed that one, obviously. And Jeff Atkins is the winner of the $10,000 first prize in this True Value Championship, our 14th. We'll be back with the presentation right after this. Come on up here, Jeff. Congratulations. Absolutely. Thank you very much. $10,000 for you. Come on up here, Ed. Ed Lachinsky, District Director from True Value. Congratulations from Ed to you, the $10,000 plus $500 in bonus money. And I'm telling you, you just kept banging pins down every time. You didn't let the law bother you or anything. For a minute, though,
it bothered me for a little while, yeah.
I was afraid you were going to throw something at Ralph there for a second.
Well, I threatened him a little.
A wonderful performance, and of course, $10,000. This will sink in, and I know you're going to enjoy looking at the videotape replay. Absolutely.
I'm gonna love it.
Ed, it's a pleasure to have you up here, too. And, of course, Tom Olszta gets $5,000.